So, I know a movie we're going to talk about this week. A soft reboot that came out in 2015 that resurrected a franchise that had been on the big screen for about a decade that originally started in the 1970s.
I'm assuming it brought back a beloved actor in a role that we all know and love?
Absolutely.
Well, it's got to be Star Wars.
Fuck no, Rocky!
Oh yeah, they never made sequels to Star Wars.
Nope.
Welcome back to the Out of Touch podcast. I'm Chris, that's Bill, and today we are talking about Creed from 2015, directed by Ryan Coogler. So, Bill, what did you think of Creed?
It was my favorite movie of 2015.
Yeah, I think mine too. I can't remember if John Wick came out that year. But Creed is a sequel to Rocky. But
Spinoff sequel.
Yeah, it's a soft reboot in a weird way.
Kind of. Almost a spiritual remake.
Yeah. It has a lot in common with the very first Rocky movie, but definitely has its own flavor. So, main character is Adonis Creed, played by Michael B. Jordan, who is the illegitimate son of Apollo Creed. I was like, what the heck was his name? And I'm like, Apollo Creed. From, the 4 other Rocky movies. There's a lot of Rocky movies.
Yes, there are at this point.
And more or less, it's him trying to become a boxer. So how do you want to go about talking about this movie, Bill?
There's a lot of ways you can go. We could talk about just sort of where the hell this movie even came from.
Yeah.
Because as far as Sylvester Stallone was concerned, after Rocky Balboa, Rocky was done. That series was over. It's like, I redeemed it from the Rocky 5. Good. All done.
Yeah, I never saw Rocky 5, but I'm assuming that's the one with like the street fight at the end.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, it's also the one where Rocky was sought out by a young up-and-coming boxer to be his mentor.
Huh.
Yes.
Okay.
Big difference is, this movie didn't end with the two of them in a street fight.
Yeah. I like this movie a lot, especially having like the context for like the other Rocky movies, but like, it's interesting because, Adonis Creed, who's mainly known as, like, Don in this movie, or Donnie, he wants to be a fighter, kind of like his father. He sort of had, like, a hard life at the beginning because, until his, I guess, what would you call Adonis Creed's wife to him?
You mean Apollo Creed's wife?
Apollo Creed's wife, yeah. Their names are so similar.
I would say
adopted mom, yeah.
He calls her mom?
Yeah, so he had a hard life before he was adopted by Apollo's wife. He was like in and out of like group homes. He was in juvenile hall. When you first see him, he gets into a fight like at the beginning of the movie as a kid. So he's got that like fighting spirit in his blood, kind of.
Yeah, he's got an anger to him.
Yeah.
His mother died when he was presumably rather young.
Yeah.
He never knew his father.
Exactly. Like one of the first lines he has, like, when Apollo's wife shows up, she's just like, I'm talking about your father. And he's just like, I don't have a father. She's just like, oh, you have a father.
He died before you were born in the mid-'80s.
Yeah.
He was killed by a giant Russian man.
Yeah. Man, that is so crazy. It was just like, he was beaten to death in the ring. Here, you can watch it on YouTube. Oh, no.
Oh, why would you? That should be... No!
Yeah.
God, do you think he ever actually watched that?
I don't know. Like,
I have to watch Creed 2 again, see if they actually show him like watching that fight and being like, ah!
Yeah, because they show him in this movie watching like clips of Apollo. Like, you see him fighting Rocky in the famous fight.
Yeah, I think he was specifically looking at Rocky 2.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
You can tell by the trunks. If Apollo's wearing red, white, and blue, that's Rocky 1.
Okay. Yeah. But anywho, so Apollo wants, Adonis, Donnie. Their names are very similar.
You want to just call him Michael B. Jordan?
Michael B. Jordan.
Will that help?
Michael B. Jordan.
Or are you going to start making basketball and Space Jam mistakes now?
I mean, so he stretches his arms out like a stretch limo at that. Lord. Wait a minute. Okay.
Good Lord.
Anyway, so Adonis wants to be a fighter, you know, he's trying to get somebody to train him, but nobody wants to train him.
He specifically tries to get, they call him Little Duke, but it's the son of Apollo's trainer, Duke,
Okay.
who now runs his father's gym, and but he will not. He's like, no.
Yeah.
Presumably because Apollo's widow, Marianne, was just like, you train him, I'll kill you.
Pretty much.
And he's like,
yeah.
I ain't getting fucking involved with that shit. He's also like, you live you're in a group home and stuff. You spent the last 10, 15 years living it up.
Yeah, it's like
You're a rich boy now.
Yeah, they kind of think like he doesn't have like that drive to like be a great fighter just because it's like, you know, you've lived a life of luxury, like you said, and you know, he kind of wants to prove himself. He's been doing like underground fights in like Mexico.
Yeah.
He challenges, you know, that gym to like a fight. He's like, oh, whoever can beat me gets the keys to my car.
He takes that one dude pretty quick, but then they're like the second best fighter around.
Yeah,
Wallops him.
pretty much.
Knocks his fucking head off, basically. Gets his car.
It's interesting too, because like, you know, he leaves a pretty successful job. You don't really get an idea of what the job is. It's like,
Well, it's some kind of financial group. He's got a desk job, probably pays pretty good, and he apparently just got a promotion.
yeah,
Job like that, he's probably making pretty solid money.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, definitely. Most people would call him an idiot.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You want to leave this nice, well-paying job with probably really good benefits to get punched in the head?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he probably makes a lot of money punching in the head, but that doesn't happen until part 2.
Yeah.
Got to get a lot of freaking brain trauma for that.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to take a lot of punches before you can make that money.
Definitely.
But yeah, so he ends up going to Philadelphia, of all places, because he actually is seeking out Rocky to train him.
Yeah, because it's the one other person he thinks could help him. It's like, look, this guy, he knew my dad. They trained together. It's the only other person I can count on who could potentially help me.
Yeah.
It's one of the best fighters there ever was.
Yeah, I like how in this movie, like, you know, we get to see like old Rocky and like I guess
Older Rocky.
Older Rocky, right? Because I forgot Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, it's weird because like you have the original Rocky series, which ran relatively consistently, maybe like 4 or 5 year gaps between some of them, and then you had like a long gap between 5 and Rocky Balboa, and then 10 years later you get Creed, and Rocky's kind of where we left him in Rocky Balboa. He's got his restaurant, Adrian's,
Yeah.
with all the memorabilia on the wall and stuff.
Yeah. It's like kind of more or less the same guy you remember from like the other movies.
Oh, definitely.
You know, he still has like all his quirks, like, you know, he's bouncing the ball around and stuff. He still puts on his like little glasses to like write stuff down. But yeah, he approaches Rocky to train him, and Rocky's kind of reluctant to train him.
Yeah, I mean, Rocky, because of who Adonis' father is, probably he's like, oh no, if I train you, I could cause what happened to your dad to happen to you, or maybe we'll get into a street fight like that last guy I trained.
Yeah. I like how Adonis never actually tells him he's Apollo's son. He just like starts asking Rocky questions about stuff that like only somebody close to like the Creed family would know. Like he says, like, you know, like, I heard you had a third fight with Apollo. And like Rocky's like, how do you know that? And like he's like, how do you think? And then Rocky like looks at him and it's like, oh, okay.
He first tries to deflect it, like cousin or something.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, no, he's my father.
Yeah. It's a pretty good moment. Like,
It's a really good scene.
yeah. Yeah, and you know, it's kind of cool. Like Adonis at the beginning, he's just kind of trying to like go it alone. But you know, Rocky does say to him like, "Hey, if you need anything, like, you know, come by." Like, because you know, Rocky's a nice dude. He's like, "I don't think I want to like train anybody. I'm kind of done with boxing, but you know, hey, if you need some like help with other stuff, I'm around."
It's like, yeah, you need some like food. I got a restaurant.
Yeah. I'll make you something with sauce on it. Or like what he says.
Or
when
like,
they're
you know,
at dinner.
if Adonis actually, you know, he's rich, so he doesn't. But if he needed a job, Rocky'd probably give him a job.
Yeah. I like how it just like starts with like, you know, Adonis just asking him like, hey, can you like give me some like drills? And, you know, Rocky writes down like all the drills he should be doing, which is like clearly Rocky still is interested in fighting and still knows what
He has
he's...
all this knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't go away.
Yeah. So like he's like cool, he gives him the drills. I like how Rocky has a lot of old man moments in this movie. Like, you know, he writes everything down for Adonis, and then he just takes a picture on his phone, and then he's just like, "Hey, you need this," and he's like, "I got it up in the cloud." It's just like, "What, the cloud?" Like,
What?
yeah. It's funny because like sometimes you forget like Sylvester Stallone is pretty old like
Yeah.
in this movie, and like it's like, oh yeah, he's like in his 70s, even though like they do the best they can to hide the fact that he's still like pretty like jacked for a 70-year-old.
Yeah,
but,
they put a lot of sweaters and coats on him to try to hide that.
yeah,
Especially when they want to make him look more sickly later on, but it's like he's still like kind of built like this.
Yeah, like-
he's almost like if he took his shirt off, he'd be as jacked, if not more jacked, than Michael B. Jordan.
I don't know if he's that far, but
I
like
don't know. I've seen like maybe not now, but at the time he was still pretty like ridiculous.
yeah, I mean he is like a like crazy like muscular old man, and like they're for the most part they hide it pretty well, and like he does a pretty good job of like, you know, more or less acting his age, which is like weird to say.
I mean, probably wasn't too hard.
Yeah.
He's still up there.
But there's that scene where they're like punching the speed bag, and you briefly see him lift up his arms, and you can see like he's got the stuff in his chest, and it's
He's
just
just
like,
"Urgh."
like he's still got it.
He probably can't do it for as long, but
Yeah.
still got some power in him.
Yeah, but you know, like some of the moments in this movie are so great. There's like the one gym that's like mixed gym, and Adonis is training there. And then Rocky shows up at that gym, and you know, the guy who's like the owner now is just like, "Hey, you want to help train my son, like Leo, and all this stuff?" And like it's like Rocky's there for like what everybody thinks is just this like random kid that he's like training for some reason.
Yeah.
But like Rocky ends up like going to this like other gym, which is kind of more of a like, you know, not really as like modern looking, you know, they got like the older bags. It's
Yeah.
like up like above like, you know, like a garage where like a bunch of kids are riding around on dirt bikes and like like quads and stuff for some reason.
It's like a gym that probably hasn't been updated since the time of the original Rocky movie.
Yeah. Yeah, like Rocky has like a whole crew he sets up for
Yeah.
Adonis, you know.
I think that Stitch guy, I think he might be in Rocky Balboa.
Oh, really?
I think he's like a real like boxing guy too.
Okay.
Because like there's like, especially in these later ones, there's like a lot of real boxing people. Obviously, like all like the announcers and stuff.
Yeah, you
And
got
all
like
that.
the HBO Sports.
And you got the Let's Get Ready to Rumble guy as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
like I think he might be a real like boxing doctor who just has like a bit part in this one, and I'm pretty sure he was in Rocky Balboa.
Okay. That's kind of cool.
I don't know if he was on Rocky's group or with the other guy's group, but I'm pretty sure he's in that.
Yeah, there's like a lot of attention to like realism in this movie. You know, there's that pretty famous scene where it looks like it's like a one take like boxing match.
As far as I can tell, it is.
It is,
doesn't
okay.
I was watching at this point. I was trying to like see because like you can sometimes tell when they do a hidden cut because like something will go right in front of the lens just for like a second, but it never really did that during that 2-round fight.
I thought it got pretty close to like, you know, Michael B. Jordan's shoulders at one point that like maybe that's where they would have cut it, you know?
Possible, but I think that one might be legit.
Okay.
Like you got the one later on where like they go out to the ring.
Yeah.
Or maybe was that from before the first fight? Or was that for this? No, I think it was for the final fight.
Okay,
Where they're walking
yeah.
out to the ring together, and it's like an interrupted shot. Then it goes dark,
Right.
and then the lights come back on, and it looks like they're still going, like they went into the dark and they came out to the light, but it's obviously two different shots.
Right. Yeah. But like the fighting, you know, it's really good. Like it looks like pretty real, you know?
Sometimes it is in these movies.
Yeah, sometimes it is, you
I
know?
don't know about Creed, but some of the other Rocky movies, it's like, turns out, it's like, oh, that punching looked real. It was. Why?
Yeah.
What do you mean Sylvester Stallone in his 60s was punching on with a real boxer? Is he insane?
Yes, he is. It's awesome. But yeah. You know,
Sylvester Stallone's just like, Tom Cruise may jump off of things, but I got punched in the face by a heavyweight champ.
yeah, why not? But yeah, you know, you got all that training stuff going on in the movies.
Because, you know, it's what these movies do.
Yeah.
Their training montages.
Yeah, you know, they're pretty good too. Like if Rocky has them do some like unorthodox training, like you gotta catch the chicken.
It's from Rocky 2.
Yeah,
Rocky had much more trouble with it, which is why I had that nice little callback where he's just like,
Pretty good. Chickens are slowing down.
yeah, he kind of like says that type of stuff like in the background a lot. You know, chickens are slowing down. You know, like when they're walking up the steps at the end, he's kind of like, I think they added some more steps. Like,
oh man. You know, one thing this movie does highlight when it comes to Rocky's age is that, like, because he says it in his first scene with Adonis, where it's like, how'd you beat Apollo? It's like, I didn't beat him. Time beat him. Wins every time. And
yeah,
as we see at the beginning of this movie, it's like time is starting to beat down on Rocky. Like, at the start of Rocky Balboa, we find out he lost Adrian. In this movie, we find out, oh, now he's lost Paulie, too.
yeah.
And his son's all the way in, like, Vancouver. So it's like there's time and there's distance just entrenching him.
Yeah.
And he's kind of isolated himself a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. He's not like, you know, like that like stereotypical like old man, miserable and angry at the world, but like
they kind of did a little bit of that in Rocky Balboa because he had this like rage inside him that he had to get out of him, and he did in the ring.
Okay.
So he got that out of him, so now he's just kind of just living his life.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's like taking care of his restaurant and stuff, but like, you know, he doesn't show up at like the gyms anymore, even though he keeps getting invited and stuff like that.
And
so.
I'm not sure. He might technically own Mickey's gym still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he inherited it from Mickey. So he probably is technically a silent owner.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is why, because like, you know, it was the gym he trained in, so all, you know, all, like the Rocky stuff's on the walls and stuff. So it's weird. They don't really talk about it, but I'm pretty sure he's the silent owner of that.
Okay.
Or at least the co-owner or something.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense, you know, for sure.
Unless he sold it.
Who knows? Yeah, maybe he sold it to that one guy who was training his son, but...
Who finds out Adonis is a Creed and then tells everybody about it because he's upset.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I kind of had... Like, they kind of set that guy up to be like, okay, he's, like, super jealous, like, immediately that Rocky is training this kid, and he's just, like... He's got to find out, like, why would Rocky, like, train some random person with, like, all the time? Like, I guess this guy tried to get Rocky to train his son or whatever.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, then when he finds out, it's like, because they set up the match, it's like, this is Apollo Creed's son?
Yeah.
We could have did something with this. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, we had this fight and everything. And
money.
yeah. That's what that guy wants.
That's what everybody wants.
Dollar bills. You know,
Make it rain.
Yeah. We get, you know, Adonis and Bianca's, like, love story in this movie, too. Kind of like the first Rocky movie, a little bit.
Yep.
Except, like, Bianca's kind of, like, different than Adrian because she's, like, super cool and, like, sings at, like, lounges and stuff and makes, like, EDM music, but she is, like, losing her hearing.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a, like, I don't know, it's kind of like what happened to, like, you know, like Beethoven and stuff, you know, like those people that are, like, musically talented and then, like, lose their hearing and stuff.
It's a wrinkle with the character that I think got more interesting in the sequel, is that, like, her hearing's getting worse and they have the daughter. It's like, oh no, will my child inherit my bad hearing? Like that.
Yeah.
Like that kind of drama and inner conflict. With this, it's just like, it's just like an element that's there.
Yeah.
But it's like something that they've been able to do stuff with.
Yeah, yeah. Like, there's, like, the scene where, you know, she's, like, you know, kind of, like, mad at Adonis after, you know, he acts like a jerk at her show and, like, he's trying to go see her and then, like, he's, like, banging on the door and she takes out the hearing aid because...
Yeah. Well, Adonis is partially upset because of Rocky's cancer diagnosis,
Yeah.
which is a big element in this movie.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they went all the way, if they killed Rocky, would Stallone have gotten that Oscar?
I guess,
he got nominated for this movie, and he won some awards in the lead up, but lost out to some random guy in a Spielberg movie.
Yeah. I mean, he does such a good job in this movie. Like,
If there's one thing that man's always been able to do, is play Rocky Balboa.
yeah.
He's always been able to find that character again. Even like when the character kind of lost its way a bit in the sequels and just sort of got like crazy and over the top, he was able to find him again
Yeah.
and like bring him back down to earth.
And, you know, it does a good job of, like, portraying, like, the cancer treatments. Because, like, you know, you see him, like, do, like, the first chemotherapy treatment, you know, he's okay. But, like, as it, like, you know, as he keeps, like, going to get, like, more chemo, you know, he gets sicker and sicker. Like, you know, there's the first, like, couple chemo treatments where, like, you know, he's still kind of training Adonis and, like, telling him to, like, you know, go up the steps and do push-ups in the room and stuff. You know, but then, like, you know, the nurse walks in, he's like, don't hit the lady. Like,
She'll knock you out.
Yeah. But then, like, as he, you know, goes more and more, you can see, like, it's making him sicker and sicker. Like, the final one you see, he's kind of just, like, laying there. It's, like, feet are up and stuff, you know. Adonis is, like, helping him, like, you know, get to bed and all that stuff. It's just like, oh, geez, this is hitting close to home. Like, this is real.
Yeah.
Like, geez, man.
It's like it's an interesting montage because it's like we get Adonis's training, but also Rocky's struggle and battle.
Yeah. Yeah, because, like, there's the good moment where, you know, Rocky initially doesn't want to go through, like, the chemotherapy because he saw his wife go through it.
And she died.
Yeah. And, like, you know, that kind of, sometimes that's how it goes, you know? It's like the recovery can be, like, worse than the disease almost. But...
And he's ready to throw in the towel.
Yeah. Adonis has that one good line, though, where he's just like...
So if I fight, you fight.
So, like, he's kind of convinced to, like, go through the therapy. And it's a really good, like, you know, scene. And it's, like, so, like, you know, you can relate to it so well, you know?
They forge a very good bond over the course of this movie. They're, like, Adonis has this, like, love story with Bianca and all that. But the main, like, relationship that he has in this movie is with Rocky.
Yeah.
This sort of familial attachment that they form with each other. I love that he calls him uncle.
Yeah, pretty much, you know.
I like that little moment that he has when he goes to move with Rocky and he's packing all his stuff and Bianca's like, "You're moving?" It's like, "Oh yeah, I'm moving in with my uncle."
That's your uncle? He's white.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah.
And then she like looks at him and is like, "When the hell were you gonna tell me your uncle was Rocky Balboa?"
Yeah.
Because of course she knows Rocky Balboa, because everyone in Philadelphia knows Rocky Balboa.
There's a statue of him.
Of course.
Like, in the movie and in real life.
Yeah. That statue was a work of fiction that became truth because they made a real statue, not a fake statue.
Yeah. But...
And it's just there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so, you know, I like how, too, like... They almost make Rocky, like, look a little bit more like Mickey, like, towards the end of the movie.
Especially with the hat.
Yeah, he gets the hat and everything, you know.
He's very clearly invoking Mickey.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell watching this movie, I'm like, all right, Ryan Coogler, you love this franchise so much.
Yeah.
All your little details and touches.
It's pretty good. You know, like, just, like, jumping around, like, there's some, like, good moments in the movie that are just, like, so good, like, when, like... You know, he takes Adonis to the mirror and he says, like, look at the mirror. Like, that person looking at you is, like, the hardest opponent you'll ever have to fight. Like, and it's just, like, him looking at himself in the mirror. And I'm like, oh, man, Rocky, you're so wise now.
Oh, yeah.
Like...
Good moment. Good advice.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
Yeah.
It's fucking true.
Yeah. But...
we should talk about Adonis's opponent for a little bit.
Not Conor McGregor.
I know, right? It's like, this is blatantly Conor McGregor.
It really is. I mean, like, I think his name is, like, Ricky Collin, so...
Something like that, yeah.
He's, like, English, I think, not, like, Irish. I don't know. I can't
Sounded
tell.
Irish to me.
Yeah, maybe. He's kind of like, you know, like a heightened version of Conor McGregor in a weird way, because it just reminds you of that.
Because he's very much a trash talker.
Yeah, but, like, he's, like, even worse than that, though, because, like, he was supposed to have a fight with, I think, that Wheeler guy at the beginning of the movie, and he, like, breaks his jaw during, like, their... Weigh-in, yeah.
Cost them lots of money.
Yeah, which is just like, okay, like, this guy's unhinged. He's, like, going to jail for 5 years on, like, a weapons possession charge.
7 years.
It's 7 years, okay.
It said 7 years, yeah. And I actually like the scene he has with his manager who's just, like, chewing him out. It's like, look, I don't care about you, your pride. I care about getting this payday for your kids.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be going away for years.
Yeah, seriously.
You stupid idiot.
Yeah, he's kind of, like, bit of, like, a... I don't know, like, scumbag a little bit. Like,
a little bit.
You know, even, like, tries to start shit at, like, you know, Adonis and his, like, press conference before the fight, too.
Yeah, I like the little Because Rocky just knows. He's like...
The fight starts in about 2 minutes. As soon as he shows up, he's going to start on you.
Because it's like he knows this is where the fight really begins.
Yeah.
The first time you guys are in the same room talking, this is where it starts. Doesn't start in the ring, starts here.
Yeah.
Because he knows. He's been through it all.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, it's interesting. You know, it's similar to kind of the setup of, like, Rocky 1, where, like, you know, he gets a chance to fight the champ.
Literally.
Even though he's only had, like, one professional fight, technically.
Yeah, and just like with Rocky, it's because of his name.
Yeah.
With Rocky, it was just because Apollo thought the name Italian Stallion sounded cool on a marquee.
Yeah.
In this, it's because you're a Creed. You're
Yeah.
Apollo Creed's son. That's something we can market. It's the same basic thing, just a little different.
A little different.
But the same, because that's how soft reboots are, because it's the same but a little different. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's Star Wars.
Oh no. Said the thing.
I said the quiet part loud, the loud part louder.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Some other time.
I don't even think so. I don't even think that.
Yeah.
But one thing I noticed when I was watching the trailer for Creed 3, there was a poster plugging a rematch between them.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, is that just something little like, oh, this is something that happened off screen? Or is that like, are we going to open up with that fight the way we opened up with another fight in Creed 2?
Yeah, that would be interesting. Maybe we see him lose at the beginning and then...
Or no, he probably beats him.
Okay.
Because Adonis isn't going to lose at the beginning. He's got to get beaten up in the middle or something. Like, I don't know.
I guess so. We'll have to see. You know, Creed 3 definitely looks great. I'm looking forward to it. Probably one of my most anticipated movies for this year. You know?
Yeah, I wish there wasn't that unfortunate business between Rocky and the producers of the Rocky movies. I mean, Stallone.
Right.
Stallone, and he is Rocky.
He is Rocky.
But, yeah, I mean, he'd already retired from the role after Creed 2, but now it just seems to be this little unfortunate business.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that stuff happens, but
Yeah.
who knows? But I guess, you know, more or less, it kind of has like a similar finale.
Yeah, more or less, you know, because he gets the moral victory over the definitive victory,
Yeah.
which sometimes is just as important because he gets to make a name for himself even in defeat, just like Rocky did.
Yeah. He goes to 12 rounds, you know.
I love the pep talk before the final round.
Yeah.
I love that we don't really get the proper Rocky music, the fanfare, until that moment.
Because you're a Creed, and I love you, kid. Go get him, Don.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Because it's like, at that moment, it's 100% earned, and it's just like, it's on.
Yeah.
Like, he's just ready to knock that son of a bitch down.
Yeah.
And he does. He knocks down the guy who's never been knocked down, which is just as good as actually beating him.
Yeah.
Because he did the thing that no one else could have done. He lasted 12 rounds against the best fighter in the world and knocked him on his ass when no one else ever could.
Yeah, he almost had to give up on the 11th round because, like, the guy's, like, covers his eye, you know, and he's just like, how many fingers am I holding up? And, like, Rocky taps him on the back a couple times to get him into that final round because he knows.
Was that Rocky or was that Stitch that did that?
I thought it was Rocky, but maybe it was Stitch, but I feel like that was, like, Rocky tapping him on the back. They're all wearing those white Creed shirts and whatever.
That's what I figured because I don't know if Rocky was wearing the gloves.
Oh, yeah. Well, somebody was
Somebody was
helping him out. Yeah. So he could get to that 12th round, you know. Like, it's pretty good,
Kind of
though.
reminds me, I think Rocky's eye got kind of fucked up in Rocky 2. Or maybe it was in Rocky 1, but then we see the repercussions in Rocky 2, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeesh.
Yeah,
It does not look pleasant.
Oh, my
He
goodness.
looks fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's like swollen. I just like look at that and I'm like, oh my God. Can it, is it even in, oh God.
It's like that. Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, it's like, oh my goodness. Getting punched in the face that many times, that shouldn't happen to people.
Block.
Yeah.
Just do this. That's why I can never fight.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's weird because like, you know, boxing is like very structured compared to like MMA where like, you know, you have more freedom in MMA to do different types of moves, but in like boxing it's like you can only hit like above the belt. You can't use your legs or anything. It's just like punching in the face or the gut,
Yeah.
kidney shots and
Body shot, headshot.
Yeah.
Body shot, headshot. That's all you got.
yeah. Everybody wants to go for the head. I mean, oh my goodness. You think they would make you know, competitors wear like the face guards at least, but not when you're fighting for real. Only in training.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a rough sport.
I'll say.
It's a rough sport that like when you watch it in movies, you're like, man, like boxing is so cool. And then like you look at like the state of like real boxing and it's just like, oh, it's like kind of like a weird spectacle thing now with like people that shouldn't be boxing each other, and it's like, what happened to you, boxing? I'm sure there is professional boxing, but it's probably not as famous as it used to be. Because like the only time you hear about boxing now is like, hey, a YouTuber's gonna fight another YouTuber, or like a legend is gonna come back to fight one more time, a stupid YouTuber. It's like, what happened?
Well, Mike Tyson did some more boxing again, didn't he? He didn't box anyone stupid.
No, that was legit. That was like a Legends type of league, you know, where
Yeah.
like old pros wanted to like, you know, get in the ring and like fight each other again, you know. I don't think he fought a
No.
YouTuber.
I mean, he would kill the YouTuber, even
would.
at his age.
He would.
It's like one hit. It's like, oh no, that guy's dead.
He would annihilate their life. It'd be pretty fun to watch, honestly. That'd be the
I
one.
saw some of those punches he was throwing. I'm like, how? How is he still this scary?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He's like you hear him in interviews, he's like such like a calm and chilled out guy, and then he gets in the ring and then he just turns into a monster. And you're like, oh my God. It's like, that's the old Mike Tyson that said he would eat somebody's children.
Jeez. What?
I remember watching some interview with Mike Tyson, and like he said, like when he was fighting, he told somebody he'd eat their children. And he said that's not something a sane person would say. Like he knew like how crazy he was back then.
Oh my God.
I don't think he said that, but he said something like messed up like that to somebody.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
But like he's an awesome dude, it seems like in real life now. Like he has a cool cartoon show and everything, and
I mean, look, I'm not gonna say anything mean about Mike Tyson because he'll find me. he'll find me and get me.
he'll annihilate your life.
Oh my God.
But yeah, he's a very unique guy, but really cool guy in interviews when you hear him talk about his like boxing career and stuff, and just his perspective on when he was fighting to like how he is now and stuff, and you know, kind of like the rage he had in order to like do what he did back then. So
Bite somebody's ear off.
yeah, I guess, yeah. Yeah, man, I forgot about that.
You forget about that.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It was pretty famous.
Seriously.
Man. Well, yeah, nothing like that happened in this movie, though.
No.
It's classy.
Final fight. It's a good fight.
Yeah.
You mentioned it before, but I do love that ending scene with them on the steps.
Yeah.
I love what Rocky says about how you can see your whole life from there. It's a nice, poignant moment.
Yeah.
It's really nice. This is just a really great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's like a great like sequel to like the Rocky movies.
Yeah. And like, I remember when I first heard about it, because like I had already become a fan of the Rocky movies, and like I was like, oh yeah, the Rocky movies are done.
Yeah.
That's cool. Good ending with Rocky Balboa. And then I heard the basic rough pitch of Rocky training Apollo Creed's son to be a boxer. I'm like, what? Huh. I guess that could maybe work.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, I wasn't sure, because I remember like originally they were like saying, and I don't know if this was even true or not, that like, oh yeah, he's gonna be like a silver spoon kid, but he's got like a chip on his shoulder or something. And clearly that, I don't know, either that was never the case, or somebody realized, I'm like, maybe we need to give this guy a little bit more edge to him.
Yeah.
And like complicate his backstory a bit more.
Yeah, it's like making him Apollo Creed's son, but like a, you know, son from like an affair kind of like gives
Well,
him a little bit more of an edge.
Yeah,
you know?
because like right before the final round, we finally truly understand his motivation when he's like,
Gotta prove it. Prove what? I'm not a mistake.
and that's like, oh, and that you get it then. That's the moment you finally understand. That's why he's mad. That's why he wants to fight. It's like I'm not a mistake. I deserve to exist, damn it. And I will punch as many people as possible to prove it.
Yeah.
Though, and I caught it in this because they mentioned like calling him his youngest son. So I'm like, okay, so we're kind of acknowledging Apollo's other kids. Where are they?
Yeah, I don't think they haven't showed up in
They haven't
any
been
of the
seen.
movies. Yeah.
I think we see them in like Rocky 2,
Okay.
and we haven't seen them since.
Yeah.
Maybe we caught a glimpse of them in Rocky 3, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But he has kids.
Yeah.
Where are those other siblings? What is their relationship with Adonis? Do they like Adonis? Do they resent Adonis? I want to know.
Yeah.
We're coming on Creed 3, damn it. Where are the other Creeds at?
Yeah.
He's got a brother and like a sister.
Yeah.
I want to know where they are. What's going on with that? I want to know.
Yeah. Who knows?
That's something that's been bothering me since Creed 1. Since this movie.
Yeah.
It's like my one nitpick with the Creed movies. I'm like, where are the other Creeds?
Yeah. It's like, I know he has a brother and sister.
Come on. There's some drama there. You could mine that for something.
Yeah. I guess he is like significantly younger though than.
Yeah, but doesn't mean they wouldn't have any kind of relationship.
That's true. That's true. I'm like sure he knows them, but
I want to know how, or like, do they have a good relationship?
yeah.
I want to know. I just want to know. Even if it's just simple, like a scene of like of the whole family's together having dinner and they're just chatting, I'll be happy with that. If
Yeah.
everybody's fine and happy, I just want to know. I just want to know.
Yeah.
I don't need. It doesn't have to be drama. It
Yeah.
could just give me background noise. I just need to know.
Yeah, it could be like his brother like busting his balls about like, I helped you get that good job, and then you went to go get punched in the face.
But I guess it worked out
Yeah.
because it's a pretty big house, little bro.
Yeah.
That's fine. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd be perfectly fine with that.
But I guess we will see, because, you know, they're making another Creed movie.
Well, they made the Creed movie. It's coming soon.
Yeah,
It's in like 2 months.
that's true. Creed number 3. Who knows? Maybe that will be the last one. Maybe they'll do Creed 4. Maybe.
I mean, historically, the Rocky franchise runs itself into the ground, so I'm expecting Creed 3, Creed 4, Creed 5, Adonis Creed, and then Balboa. Circle back.
Yeah.
Unless he's got an opponent that he becomes better friends with in a later movie.
Yeah.
Conlon.
Oh, man.
Conlon's kid.
There we go.
Conlon's gonna die in the ring fighting a foreign boxer or
Oh,
something.
man. The cycle repeats.
Forever.
Oh, man. Yeah, who knows? But I guess with that being said, that's the Out of Touch podcast for this week. Go watch Creed. Okay, we're done.
It ain't over till it's over.
Okay.
It's over.
One step at a time. Who told you that?
Some old guy.